I'm Nick, and this is going to be a small tutorial mini-series on how to use a conversation API in Bukkit. For those of you who don't know what the conversation API is, it is basically a method of communicating with a console or a plugin using a normal chat system. No commands, no arguments, nothing. So what I've done is I've created two plugins which do the same thing. They both canary blocks are broken and placed. I know, overdone, not going to bother with that. But one of them uses the conversation API, one of them uses commands. So let me just break a few blocks. Okay, place a few. Alright, just for those of you who want to know, I'm using the OCD pack. It's pretty nice and low res, all I need. So now, normally what we do is command and argument, so the ones I've placed. I placed 43 blocks, and the reason I have that much, because I've already been testing this. And again, broken, 21. Now the conversation API works like this. I type in a command, or you can use by events, maybe a player move event, blockade event, etc. I don't know, but I didn't use it because it's going to overcomplicate my plugin just for a tutorial. So now, it's going to ask me, it's going to prompt me, let's say, for, well, see which ones I want, placed or broken. And I'm going to refer to prompts a lot, as what the conversation API is built on. Now, if I type in anything, it'll ask me again. It will not accept anything other than these two values. And I'll explain all that in a second, how that works. And so I want to see the ones placed. 43. And, oops, 3 T's. Okay, and now broken. That's fine. So, now, if you look at the graph, I'll show you now. You have the main prompt, which is just a prompt, which you have to configure all the values. You have 3 sub-prompts, which are string, message, and validating, and 2 of which require user input. So essentially, the one I had there was validating prompt. And I'm going to go through validating prompt in the most detail, as they are, well, as you can see, it goes in 5 subsections itself, as well as itself. Sorry, I changed something there. Anyway. So, yeah, so that's it. So the message prompt just messages you anything and goes on. String prompt requires any sort of input, just anything, and then it goes on. Validating input is a bit different. And again, as you saw, it was a fixed set prompt there. So if I typed in anything other than the 2 values, I would have gone invalid, and the message would have replenished. Now I'll just show you a little bit more of an advanced use of the plugin, just actually a little more useful. So now, if you have a look at my ℛesources plugin, if you know what it is, good. If you don't, that's fine too. It promotes you on being a certain age. And sorry, I may have tested it earlier. Oh Jesus, sorry. That should work. Yeah, it's asking me if I write the rules and read them. This fixed set prompt, as you saw earlier. So if I type in some random gibberish, it will let me. It will replenish. If I type in yes or no, there you go. This is a regex prompt. If you know what a regex is, it's basically a set message format. So here it requires me to type in 2 integers, a slash, 2 integers slash, and 4 integers. If I type in, let's say, 2 integers slash, and 5 integers, then it'll ask me again. But if I do the normal method and 4 integers, ask me that. And if I say, and I may think it's later, but let's say I said it's not my birthday, they'll ask me again and go back to the same prompt. So you can mix and match the prompts. So zoom this down. And yeah, the exit gracefully part, that is, well, I'll explain that in a later video, but that was just a debug message I made because for some reason some things I was doing weren't working. Anyway, so you've been promised successfully as a message. It's a bit different than the prompt. And the interview finished, and the pink slash is message prompt. So you see, it required nothing. It exited me out of the conversation. You also may wonder, as I've been typing stuff in, will it be viewed by anyone else? No. It just goes into the console. No one can view it but you and, well, the plugin. And that can raise some issues. So I'll just do chat instead. So you want to type something else, someone asks you something, you can't get out of it, and you don't want to go to the menu because maybe more than one option, more than one prompt. So what you want, so there's an escape sequence, and that's really easy to do. So mine here, I think is the part. So if you type that in, and now you can chat. It just exits out forcefully and that. So yeah, that's that. Now let's go on to the fun part, the coding. Right, so let's open up 2 plugins. So right. Sorry, my PC is a little bit slow today. Just like me, it just hasn't woken up yet. Anyway, so we have 2 variations of the plugin, as I said before. CG1, if you want to know what CG stands for, just conversation example. And you can see the integers, just see what's broken or replaced. The plugin, the manager, I could just done that in one line, but habits. Table, as you can see the command test here. The command here, if I arg0 equals 0, then it returns false. If it's broken, it returns me the broken blocks. Or returns me the place blocks. I know you can just do any random value, so I should have done else if arg0 that equals no creates placed, but I was too lazy to do it, and yeah, I'm just too lazy to do it. So yeah, I should have done that. I know it's wrong, but yeah. Now that's a little more interesting. As you can see here, that it's all the same up until here. First of all, you have the conversation factory, which this will build the conversation. Register events, multi-listen, on disable, command sender. That's the usual stuff. I won't go through the basics of making a plugin here because I expect you to know just a good bit of it. Anyway, you may notice that I don't do the standards Bukkit conventions, or Java conventions. I just don't. I'm special that way. So here you just have chat test and you have factory. With first prompt, it's the first prompt you do, and all the prompts are separate classes. So you can make them in one list, but it'll get messy if you make them too big. I'll open up the first prompt in a second. Escape sequence, as I showed you before, that's all it is. You have to do a dot escape sequence, and the message you want the player to type in to exit out at any moment. Excuse non-players message. So send the console a message if it tries to do the plugin. Usually you would do if sender instance of player and then etc. But here it does it for you. Local echo is just it messages you back literally what you wrote, just so you know what you wrote. I did false. I just don't really like them that much, but I'll do it for the example plugin. Build conversation will actually make the conversation a conversation, if you understand what I mean. It actually builds it together. So all of that put together. And begins it. You may notice that here actually it's a conversible, not a player or an entity or anything usual. Conversible is literally all that put in one. It's anything they can talk to. The console, the player, and I'm not sure if you can do it to the entity or not. Okay, 8 minutes, not bad. Okay, so now get into the first prompt. Alright, just the listener, which is the same for both of them, just in case you want to know. Simpler unblock place, unblock break. It adds on to the values, and that's it. Now, the prompt, as you can see, is a fixed set prompt, as I showed you before. So let's just open up that. So you can see the fixed set prompt. Yeah. So now so there are a number of ways to make the fixed set messages that you can only put down. I prefer supering them. Can you even say that? I hope so. Place are broken. And just so you know, these are case sensitive, so if you wanted different types of them, you have to do broken, etc. So it gets, it's very nice that way, but it's useful in a way, I guess, and this constructor, because I kind of need it. So get prompt text, and usually this appears at the bottom, but I prefer top because I prefer doing my doing all this in the chronological order, because this comes first. And it'll ask me what I want to place, or what I want to view, the placed or the broken blocks. This will appear, and then it'll wait for me to input my message. Once it's valid, which is a space block, it goes to here. And anyway, and if not, it'll go back to prompt text. It's fun. So converse with CPO, I just did an example, so you can make him a conversible and just go from CPO to send raw message, or you can go see the get from whom, send raw message. You may be wondering as well that why don't I just do to player and send message. That is blocked. The conversation API, how it works, does not allow messages, send messages, and player types, sender, console types, all that. It all goes into conversible, and they can only take the send raw message type. It's not much, but just so you know, it'll be blocked if you send a normal message. Now, that's that, and end of conversation, just that's a prompt, it'll end the conversation and exit you out of it. That's a graceful exit. The forceful exit is to depart. Now that we have that done, let's start off with the normal plugin, with our plugin. Now, I've already created just a command and a main class. Again, I said, I'm not going to show you how to do all that. I expect you to know the basics of it. If you do, I can explain, but not now. Anyway, so what you want to do here, if I don't forget, just get command c test. Oh, Eclipse. So name a class, const command. That's fine. And now, so what you want to do here is you can do the if label dot equals no case, but I realize that's a bit obsolete because of the fact that this will only react if there's ctest. So that kind of automatically does it for you. I never actually knew it before, but I saw it being implemented once and just was pretty interested. So now what we do is the following. Conversation factory equals new conversation factory this. Actually no, not this. Okay. The reason you do plugin, well, you have to actually do plugin, or if it's in the main class, you do this. So that's how it's done. It's a new conversation factor every time. You can do it at the very start, or to finish, or an enable, which is, in my opinion, a bit better practice, but okay. Now, what you can do is, you can do any of the following. You can, as I did in the example plugin, you can just do autumn from the start, factory dot, and I will do actually a few things with this. So I'll add a bit more. So with first prompt, new string s. The reason I put the s in there is just so it doesn't mix up with the string prompt as the conversation API class. Just create the class, and it'll automatically give me a prompt, which I don't really like. I prefer the pre-made prompt. So it's that. Let's kill you off. And remember, prompt is actually implemented while all the others are extended. I just get mixed up and spend 5 minutes wondering what happened. So that's alright. We'll get onto that in the next episode, and for now we'll just go on with this. So the conversation actually now pairs with the message. Go away console. Alright, that's fine. Actually, add the conversation abandon listener. Listener, new, conf, abandon. This just listens for anytime the conversation is abandoned, whether it's a graceful exit, as I showed you with the end of conversation, or the forceful, when the player does the exit. Well, that is message. So now, what else can we put in there? Escape sequence. Sure. Exit. Actually, for this, I found it a bit funny how I actually tried to do it with the command, so I'll put a slash there, but for some reason, Bukkit didn't let me exit out. It kind of took it as a command and tried to do something with it, and failed. So, again, we'll get onto that in a later episode, so close that off. Now, what else do we want to do? Local echo. Sure, why not? Just to show you what it does. I know that I'm looking through this and that, but just I can't remember all the prompts, all the little things you can do. So with timeout, you may not notice that in the plugin because it's implemented, but what this does is it actually times out at 30 seconds. So, well, the 30 seconds. It's not ticks, it's seconds this time. And after timeout, it just leaves the conversation. So, that's that. And what else do we want to do? Oh yeah, conversation prefix. It's pretty interesting. You can do it. I prefer doing it in a different class. Just it looks a bit neater. And that's fine. So dot build conversation with the, and you have to cast it. There's no real choice in that matter. It's fine. So at the moment what we have there is a conversation. So you can label. So what you can do is automatically begin it, or you can call it something else. Let's say conversation C. Just import that, and you can do later on. You can do so you can do that, or you can just do automatically begin from there. I'll just leave it as that. And go into prefix. So you can do the get prefix method actually inside here. So you can actually do it. So you can do it as you saw with the Bukkit runables. Well, if you ever use them, you can do it inside the actual, well, the main method. So here, all it really does is return the prefix. So where it'll be every time. Automatically, it's a null prefix. Sorry, it's a moment. So what we do, we just check color red plus that plus check color dot plus so for chat color dot red. And this, like in messages, if you don't reset the coloring or make a space here, it'll keep that coloring. So we should put it as aqua. So I actually won't type in aqua, or yeah, it's gonna look very messy or very bright. So just make it dark. So now every time it'll appear in here. Now, I think that's about it for this episode. If there's anything else I will want to do, I'll just put a start on the next one. So, thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully you'll watch the next episode. And good night.